Okay, I gotta put a PSA, public service announcement out there while I do the dishes. I hope that this sounds pretty clear, loud and clear, and let's see if the water affects it too bad, because I gotta do both. I gotta get my shit together, get my stuff done. Okay, I get messages on Instagram about, first of all, let me introduce myself here. My name is Gina Rose Davis, also known as Cosmic Bodyguards on one Instagram, and more commonly known as Sweetbriar Rose, the model, erotic model, kinkster, astrologer, historian, mythologist, archetypal explorer, and most importantly, other than being a mother, most importantly, I am an ancient Hellenistic predictive astrologer. Okay, I don't do big, like, philosophical, I don't do a lot of psychological astrology. I'm not a shrink. A lot of you guys that think you need astrologers and astrology need a shrink. I have a shrink. Okay? So, anyways, and so, like, anybody who's reading their boyfriend or girlfriend's chart, trying to see if you're compatible, and especially, oh my God, especially if you're only using your sun signs, you know, you're more commonly known as your zodiac sign. If you are using only that, I find that really annoying, and I know I'm kind of precious about my astrology because I have spent hundreds and hundreds of hours studying, reading books, literature. I studied the ancient text. I haven't been fortunate enough to study and translate ancient texts because I don't know the language. But that's something I would probably go back to a university for. We'll see what happens. Right now, I'm learning from the people who did that. You know, these kind of scholars, modern scholars. I don't do modern astrology. I don't respect modern astrology. It's bogus. I like what I like. So I know what works and why it works. And I can do some psychological stuff. But let me tell you, your moon sign being in Cancer isn't the reason why you're nurturing, soft, probably codependent, value motherhood, attract men or women who need a mommy or a daddy figure. You know, that's not why that's happening. The way I approach astrology and readings is describing a person. It's not causing a person to be a certain way. You see, it's just a language, and I'm simply translating that language into English and into a set of tips, basically a set of predictions that somebody can go use and make better choices off of. And yes, it can definitely bring you much closer to God, whatever God you serve. I actually serve Jesus Christ. I don't know if Jesus is his name, but I know Christ, the essence of Christ, and the Holy Bible is what I choose first. And it used to be like that. I went away from Christ for a while, and I'm back. I love God. I really love God. And, you know, I do struggle with certain spirits, like the spirit of lust. Did I just say erotic model? Yeah, am I a hypocrite? You know, philosophically, psychologically, spiritually, am I a hypocrite? I admit, I am. I am a hypocrite, you know. That's why I don't try to preach to people. I don't try to put value judgments upon my predictions. And I find that when we do psychological astrology, you really have to be a really good diplomat. And I'm really good at being a diclomat. I just made that up. I could be a real dick if I try and get into that. And I don't like triggering people on purpose. And I just don't like purposefully being a mirror for a transference exchange between another person. where they project all their stuff onto me and then we work it out from there. I'm not into it. So let me tell you, if I get messages where they feel really excited when they go to message me. First of all, I do this professionally, and I sure do love it, and I do love knowing that you're studying it too. But if you're studying it on Instagram and its fancy, popular modern astrology apps are your go-to source for learning and knowledge, this isn't a conversation that I am interested in. Okay, because I think that it's cheap. It's cheap. It's not really a gateway drug. It creates a lazy framework for understanding astrology for those who get deeper into it, which can cause a lot more harm than help. Right? It's like people who are into rope shibari. It's like everybody always wants to suspend. They want to go into the air. They want to rush right into the air, but they don't want to learn the basics, the real basics first. They don't want to learn why certain ties and knots have to be done first the way that they are, why safety has to be learned, protocols, negotiations. A lot of people don't have any freaking safety scissors nearby. I mean, I hope that isn't too loud, this Pyrex. I'm on my soapbox here because this really matters to me. You know, being actually helpful is what matters to me. I don't like having a hit or miss astrology session reading. And I'm not channeling, and that's very important to understand. I'm not channeling when I'm doing astrology. I'm not being a vessel for some kind of spirit to come through and heal. That is not what I'm about. I'm about results. I'm about practical application. That's why I say ancient astrology down to earth. You know, we apply it. I'm Taurus moon. Could be describing, you know, somebody who takes their work, they're fixed. They are solid. And even though I take the slow route on most things like this is the hard, long way. My predictions are largely accurate, and they're only going to get better because this system that I use, ancient Hellenistic astrology, is real. And I'm not saying Vedic astrology, Indian astrology isn't. I'm not saying that the sidereal zodiac is false. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, horary astrology, for instance, is what is that called? Right now, I can't think of it. Horary is really fun. But it works based on divination, right? I try not to have the spirit of divination in my practice too much because I struggle with other spirits, like I said, and it invites certain things in your life if you have the spirit of divination, and then you have to do even more spiritual work than I do, which I do a lot, but not enough. Achyuta Bhava Dasa, or Adam Ellenboss from Nightlight Astrology, is really good at horary astrology. He's very good at divination, and he stays consistent, healthy. He's an incredible teacher. I'm not sure if the astrology podcast, Chris Brennan, Austin Coppock, Kelly Surtees, and Lisa Scheim, for instance, I'm sure they do some horary astrology, which is divination. I've done horary readings. I seem, for some reason, there are spiritual consequences in my life whenever I cast a horary chart. And for instance, I casted a girl came to my house directly during COVID and paid me to cast a horary chart for her missing cat. And shortly thereafter, my cat was killed. And it just weirdly felt related for something. You know, it's too common that these things happen like this. So I try to avoid horary charts. You know, there are specific situations where I would allow it. Definitely wouldn't really be about like, oh, will he come back? Will she come back? What are they doing? Are they cheating on me? I don't do anything like that. Okay, so if you come to me on Instagram or wherever and you go, I'm a Pisces rising, I downloaded the CoStar app. CoStar's okay, but I don't know what that means for you. None of that matters to me in one isolated phrase like that, because the whole chart is having a conversation together. That's what my job is. That's why I look at the chart. And sometimes, you know, the boundaries I'm putting up more firmly now, because what people think is, you know, just happy conversation is actually my job. It's my job. And so if you come to me, I can see that a conversation is starting, and it's on the basis of a reading. And so it's hard to say no. Like, why don't you schedule a reading with me, book a session with me? But some, you know, people are still pretty hesitant to do that. So that's all I'm saying. I think that the astrology on Instagram that I see people do is really shallow. It's meant to go viral. It's meant to be shallow because shallow sells. And there's so much more. It's so rich. It's so deep. And so if you want to schedule an actual private reading with me, or one that we can record and I give you a copy of, then you please come to me. You can message me, email me at cosmic.bodyguards@gmail.com. That's where I prefer that you do that, so that I know it's professional. It means to me that you're serious if you can just type in cosmic.bodyguards@gmail.com. Because of the nature of all my other posts, I get a lot of story replies. I get a lot of messages on both Instagrams, and then I get a lot of message requests. I have dozens sitting waiting for me to read, and I haven't opened them yet because it's just, it's overwhelming, and it's hard to decipher, okay, what's flirty, what's just basic support, and what's business. So that's why I prefer that you do that. And I don't respect this Instagram astrology. If you like it, that's fine. If you want a real reading with a real astrologer who has spent hundreds of hours and continues to study, take courses, teach it as best I can. I'm not the best astrology teacher, but I'm trying. I would like to be. So I usually always end up in some kind of teaching position. Like in the churches I've been in and everything, I was a teacher. And I don't have to have Jesus involved in your reading. That's a personal, very, very personal choice. Okay, so that's my message for tonight. Love you. Love you guys so much. Oh, one more thing. I'm falling in love with this kind of stuff right here. The blue and white china. This is sort of made in Japan, and it's antique vintage, but that's another thing I do for a living, is I go antiquing, thrifting. My friend told me I'm called an arbitrage, so like kind of a middleman, I'm a flipper. I love flipping. Okay, guys, so I hope that message resonated with you. Again, I'm not judging you as a person. I'm not making a value judgment on CoStar or these sort of basic apps and stuff. And these little memes the posts that constantly are going viral on the hashtags with astrology and stuff that are real popular and fun. But there is so much more, like so much more. God, and actually I do a lot of predictions. I'm a predictive astrologer, or I can help you predict really good times to start projects, start a wedding, start a relationship, or periods or eras of your life or chapters. And especially I use things called Time Lords. I use Time Lord techniques where a certain planet is going to be activated for a certain time, from down to the year, month, week, and hour. I try not to do those hours and days, and it's just really, it's too much. And it would cost too much for you. I don't think it's worth it right now. Unless I find a faster way to study that. It's called zodiacal releasing. One day I'll get faster at it and I could probably charge less. But I don't think it's, I think you should just stick to your annual perfections, your solar returns, do a birthday reading for yourself every year and see what themes are going to be coming up. You know, I wouldn't want you to, you know, try to publish a children's book if you have major, a whole year focused on divorce and car repairs, basically, right? You wouldn't, the likelihood that that child book avenue is going to expand for you, it might happen in the future based on placements in your chart and your natal potential that I have to look at, but I can tell you when is a good time and when's not. So one last thing is we had a Venus retrograde last summer, spring, summer, and it lasted for like 4 months. And this is a time when people feel this urge to shave their hair, or they feel this urge to shave their head. You know, I saw girls shaving their head last year and during the Venus retrograde. And then when Venus went direct, they were in their Instagram like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. You know, this is really good information an astrologer can tell you and warn you about. You know, don't get your hair cut, don't shave your head, don't get a tattoo during a Venus retrograde, because it's probably going to be on a whim, or it's going to be in retaliation in a relationship, or it's when you get a relationship partner's name tattooed on you, you go through a breakup, you feel liberated. Bzzz. It's those regrettable physical moments, or you like paint your whole house and it just is a massive disaster, or you hate it as soon as Venus goes direct. See, Venus retrograde isn't causing those things. She's describing a collective or a personal experience. And so what I do is more outward focused. I don't go so much, you know, you're this way and you feel this way for this reason because you're a Scorpio, so, you know, you probably won't be publishing children's books. You know, it's not like that. It's more like, this is going to be a year where you might buy a new car. You might become really popular on social media and be well received for this kind of stuff. So this topic is really good to start in. You might think about it because I see positive significations for that. For the year, for the next 3 years, however, you know, this massive change is coming in this area, a period of instability here, a marriage is likely here. It's a great time to have children right here. So if you have specific questions, bring them to me, because, and if you have like one question where you need me to pull up your chart, oh, this is really good. This is very inexpensive. So you just come to me, like I said, cosmic.bodyguards@gmail.com. And my name's Gina, Geena. Get it right. I'd appreciate this. And you can just leave a question and let me know, you know, what the question is, the list of questions, what you're hoping to get out of it. I don't want a whole relationship backstory, but I can't do that. You know, I'm not cut out for that. That's not my area. And I don't want you to tell me your entire chart and stuff, because I feel really overwhelmed by this. You know, this isn't positive social engagement for me, just to be honest, okay? I really want to help people. I try to utilize my time, and I'm really, at this stage in my life, I know, because my astrology chart is telling me that I'm really learning how to put good boundaries around social interactions online, and learning how to utilize media to help people, to expand, to become more socially visible. Right now, I'm very socially invisible when it comes to Cosmic Bodyguards, and I trust that it will expand, or it'll shift. It'll get there. It's going to get exactly where it's supposed to be in the time that it's meant to be there. Right now, I don't know that I could manage a lot of attention, more than I already get from my Instagrams and stuff. Okay, guys, I hope to hear from you. Leave comments about what you feel about modern astrology versus ancient, if you're a blend of the two. All right, love you guys, and have a good night. Bye.